We are live. Woohoo! Hey, everybody. Welcome to part 3 of Beyond Menopause in our Empowered Women Empowered Chat series. Kelley DeFilippis is our menopause practitioner, and she's putting in her contact information right now. So it's going to be in the chat. And what? What?
I said, I think that's right. Yeah. I mean, I know I'm Instagram, but it didn't come up as, I don't know. If you just look up Kelley DeFilippis on Facebook, you'll find me.
Oh, okay. Because I'm not showing it in the comments, but whatever. We'll figure it out.
You know why? Because I'm a dummy and I did it in private chat.
No, you're not. Nope. Do not talk to ourselves that way. Hey, well, she's doing that. Let me introduce myself. I am Jen Orman. I am an incredibly passionate, transformational life coach for women. I like to call myself a confidence catalyst coach, and I am all about serving women who have maybe lost a little bit of their confidence. Maybe it's gone away with the depletion in their estrogen. Do you think that's possible, Kelley?
Absolutely.
So it definitely happens. It happened to me. I have walked through this and come out on the other side. So I am, we are two people who are super excited about what we're doing, and that's serving women. And, and we're serving women, we're best suited. I think each and every one of us are best suited to be able to serve people when we've walked the talk, when we've gone through the fires and come out the other side. And that's definitely true in what creates a lot of fire and passion in me serving the women that I do and helping them create their best lives and step into creating a whole new next act as we navigate the world of midlife and menopause and all the crazy, and be able to look at it through new lenses. Like, oh my gosh, this is an opportunity for me to have a glow up in mentalescence, as Dr. Vonda Wright likes to call it. I get to become somebody who I've maybe always wanted to be and couldn't be and or didn't know that I even wanted to be, and now I get to be. But first, we got to get you feeling good, right? We need to feel good. Yes. And this is why I'm so passionate about having Kelley come on as often as we want, because this is a subject that is incredibly important, and women need to become educated and informed and empowered about our bodies. We have had horrible education. We have been underserved and dismissed, and we are flipping done with that. And Kelley has devoted her life from the last several years forward to really stepping up and stepping out to get this message out there. So Kelley, introduce yourself, tell people where you work. I know this is part 3, but who knows if this is part 1 for somebody. Right. So it's all good. So jump in and let us know all about you and why menopause and HRT. Why do you do this?
Why? So I'm Kelley DeFilippis. I am a board certified nurse practitioner and a perimenopause menopause hormone specialist. I am at Cornerstone Wellness Center. You can find me at www.cornerstonewell.com. You can find me on Instagram at menopause.np. You can find me on Facebook. Just type in Kelley DeFilippis. You can find me online. And I was completely, I was not educated in and around perimenopause, menopause, and hormones. I had no idea what was happening to myself. And I had to find out what was wrong with me. And I did. And I found out it was all perimenopause. I started on hormone replacement therapy. It is literally changed my life and turned my life back around to where I was before I started into perimenopause, with migraines, hip pain, depression, anxiety, itchy skin, the whole plethora of symptoms. And I just want to educate women about what is happening to them, because it is happening to you. And every woman will experience going through perimenopause and menopause and postmenopause, because menopause is just one day. And I want them to understand what's happening to them and the potential health consequences that come from it, and to just educate and empower them. Does every woman need to take hormone therapy? No. Can every woman take hormone therapy? No. But do all women deserve the education, information, empowerment, and option? Yes.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. And we are so fortunate to have Kelley in our Pittsburgh area. And yeah, she works at Cornerstone Wellness, which is a beautiful place, as she said. And I definitely recommend, if you want a consult with Kelley, then you can just go to their website, cornerstonewell.com, and you can book a 15-minute free consult with her to find out if she's a fit for you.
Yep.
But we're going to also talk about how, just things, how to talk to other providers. If maybe you're not in Pittsburgh or you have another provider, we need to learn the language of how to speak up for ourselves. We need to learn how to advocate for ourselves. And it does start with us taking responsibility, and the information is out there now. There is no excuse for any of us to not start taking full radical responsibility, right? The books are there. I mean,
the information in the thing is if you're not looking for it, it's probably, and most of us are getting a lot of information from social media and things. And if it's not part of your algorithm, it's probably not going to pop up. But my neighbor the other day, he goes, I keep getting, he's a guy who lives across the street. He goes, I keep getting things in my feeds about perimenopause and menopause because of you.
Yeah. All right. You're welcome. Because men need to understand.
Yeah. I'm like, sorry. He's like, no, it's all right. He goes, I just think it's funny. He's like, because of you and because I'm friends with you. And he's like, now those things start popping up in my algorithm.
I love that. That is, hey, any way we can do it, right? Get the word out.
That's right.
And this got me fired up. I was listening to Kelley Casperson today. So Dr. Kelley Casperson just wrote a new book called Menopause.
The Menopause Moment.
The Menopause Moment.
Yeah.
And highly recommend. I just started listening to it. Kelley has the hard copy, and and Kelley she's just awesome. She's a urologist. She's brilliant. And she's also very funny. And but she's talking about,
blunt. I don't say blunt, but she's just very kind of no nonsense, like think about this in a logical way. And, she's just very down to earth and just very kind of to the point.
Yep. Super refreshing, actually. Yeah. No BS. But what I love, what she said was like, this isn't something like, menopause. It's not this, yes, it is a movement happening now, but it's not a trend or, that's what I'm saying. This isn't a trend. Yeah. This is women. Women are 50% of the world's population, 51%. This is, I yell too much. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay. We get fired up. There's nothing wrong with being fired up, and really, honestly, we're kind of a little angry. We're a little
Again, I go back to that righteous anger for sure, and then we take action on this. That's one of the reasons we're doing this. But 51% of the population, this is human health. It's not, she said people are getting like, she got somebody reaching out to speak on a big stage that's like, well, we're getting into women's health. She goes, women's health is not a niche. It's human health. It's like, this is okay. So yes. So we are not looking back, not looking in the rear view. We're looking forward. So, yes. So that's what we're here to do. So before we get into some of the questions that I have that I want to ask you, I do want to tell everybody, Kelley is just, she's going to be hard to catch pretty soon because she is so busy. So she's got a bunch of things going on. If you're local here in Pittsburgh, she's going to talk in more detail at the end. But she on Sunday the 28th, she's going to be at the Trinity Point Panera in Washington. Yes. But you have to get a ticket. Go to Eventbrite or her Facebook page. More details on that. But 2:00. It's free. It's free. Free time. The second thing is you have a. She's even going to feed you. Isn't that nice? That's so good. And I think one of her patients is going to be telling her story.
Two of my patients now are going to tell their story, their journey, and how what led them, what led them to seek treatment, how they were feeling, how they're feeling now. And so yeah, I have two people that are going to speak besides me.
Awesome. Oh, that's exciting. That's really great. And then you have a book club starting on November 7th. We'll talk more about it, but it's about reading the book Estrogen Matters by Dr.
Avram Blooming and Carol Tavis.
Okay, well, you can find Tarvis.
Estrogen Matters. Just look up Estrogen Matters.
And we're not done yet. Kelley has also been recently asked to be a speaker and a panelist at an upcoming symposium at Nevillewood Country Club here in the South Hills. It's called At Capacity Symposium. You can look it up, At Capacity Symposium. I bought my ticket. I'm really excited about that. And that's going to be a full day event. And Kelley's going to share her wisdom. And it's called The Lived Experience of Women. It's not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. So we're excited to hear Kelley there and learn from all the other experts there. And then Kelley's also heading to New York next week to meet all kinds of the top menopause people in the field right now. She's going to something called The Swell. So we'll have her back on and she can share what she learned.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah.
Yes.
I can tell you all about the 2-day event. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm pumped. I'm so pumped. All right, let's do it. So I want to go back and I want to talk about, we have touched on this, but repetition, that's how we learn. So I think it is incredibly important to go back and start here for anybody that is not fully understanding what the heck happened. Why was there and even still is there the vestiges of hormone hysteria and hormones are bad and hormones cause cancer? Why has there been so much fear surrounding hormone therapy for women?
Okay, so back in 1993, there was a study that was done by the National Institute of Health, and it was called the WHI, Women's Health Initiative. And the reason that the study was started was because anecdotally or through clinical practice, doctors were seeing, that women were living healthier because hormone therapy has been around for a very long time. And it was very, very popular in the 80s and the 90s. 40% of menopausal women were taking hormones back then. And the hormones that they were taking are not the same ones we use today, but it's that's a little more detailed. So because of these anecdotal things that the government decided, well, let's do this big study. And the study cost $1 billion. So it'll never be replicated because today that would probably be, I don't know, 10 billion. So it'll never be replicated. But whenever they were doing the study, and it's really deep detailed. I mean, I could actually talk about it for probably an hour, but the end note was that the study was stopped early because there was this perceived increased risk of breast cancer. And before this study was even released and it was released in a JAMA article, which is the journal of, I forget.
American Medical Association.
Yeah, Journal of American Medical Association. Yeah. Thank you. A press release was put out that said hormones cause a 25% increased risk of breast cancer. And the next day, 80% of the women who were taking hormones flushed them down the toilet, and all education surrounding hormone. And like I said, the study hadn't even been released. So what ended up happening is a lot of people took the media and the press release and never really read the study. So if you read this, so first there were a lot of flaws to the study. They didn't include any women in the study who actually had hormonal symptoms. First of all, who have menopausal symptoms, because those women would know really quickly whether they were getting the actual hormones or whether they were getting a placebo. So first of all, those women were X'd out of the study. They weren't included. If you had menopausal symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, any of the symptoms, you were not included in the study. It was
That
women,
sounds insane.
right? Like it was women who didn't have any symptoms, which is a small percent. 80% of women have menopausal symptoms.
80% of women have menopausal symptoms. Wow.
Yeah. 80%. Second of all, the ages of the women in the study ranged from 50 to 79. The average age of the women in the study were 63 years old. So what's the average age of menopause? Anywhere between 45 and 55. But those women weren't really included in the study either. Why? Well, they were probably the ones who were having the most symptoms. Mm-hmm. So the average age of the woman in the study was well past 10 years from her last period, typically. Mm-hmm. So that was a problem. Because of them being 10 years postmenopause already and their body already having changes, a lot of them already had issues. So a lot of them were obese. They had coronary artery disease or heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cognitive changes, and they weren't the ones who would really benefit from it because hormone replacement therapy or hormone therapy can't really reverse disease, but it's really good at helping to reduce the risk or prevent disease. So those were the first big kind of flaws. Like the women that were in the study weren't really representative of who perimenopausal, menopausal women are.
Wow. Amazing.
Second of all, so when this press release was released, it was released that there was a 25% increased risk of breast cancer with hormones. But like I said, the study wasn't even released yet. It was a press release. When the study came out, if you know anything about statistics, which most people don't, there's kind of a line that's drawn in statistics, and that line stands for 0. Anything that is below that 0 line is not statistically significant. Anything that is above that 0 line is statistically significant. In the study, the increased risk of breast cancer did not reach statistical significance. It didn't reach that line. It was below that line.
It was not statistically
significant. So one out of every 1,000 women get breast cancer. With these hormones that were used,
one out of how many?
Approximately 1 out of 1,000.
Okay,
that's approximate. But with the study, that risk increased to 1.08.
0.08.
So we've all been denied hormones for a 0.8. It wasn't statistically significant.
Okay. This is important to know. And honestly, if you hear this and you don't get pissed off, then you're not paying attention.
And the thing is the women who so there were 2 groups of women. There were a group of women with a uterus and there were a group of women without a uterus. The women without a uterus only received conjugated equine estrogen. They did not receive the medroxyprogesterone acetate as their progestin to protect the uterus. The women in the group who only received the conjugated equine estrogen actually had a 30% risk reduction of breast cancer and better outcomes if they did get it.
Wow.
It was the group that received conjugated equine estrogen and medroxyprogesterone acetate that had this 0.8.
Okay. Wow.
Increase.
It's really astonishing. I mean, honestly, we could just talk all day about a whole generation of women being denied this for something that wasn't even based in truth.
So two others. One, we don't use those hormones anymore. Those of us who are in the know and those of us who do menopause care, we don't use those hormones. We use body identical estradiol and body identical micronized progesterone. That means on a molecular chemical level, these hormones are basically identical to what our body makes. They're sourced from wild yams. Yes, they come from big pharma. That doesn't mean that they're not body identical. They are. That's the first thing. We don't even use the hormones now that we're in the study. And we have 25 studies currently showing that body identical hormones do not increase the risk of cancer.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, they may reduce the risk.
Yeah.
And they reduce, even in the WHI, there was a 30% decrease in the WHI with the synthetic hormones, the conjugate. There was a 30% decreased risk of colon cancer.
Yes, I just heard that, and I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, there was a 30 to 50% decreased risk in heart disease, 30 to 40% decreased risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. I mean, there were all these good things that actually came out of this study, but the one. I don't know if somebody just had it out for women. Like, I don't know.
Well, we could, that's a whole nother subject of, but we are going forward.
But to get a really detailed explanation about what happened with this study and what happened and really how our hormones are good for us, I highly recommend reading Estrogen Matters, because it is written by Dr. Avram Blooming and Carol Tarvis, and it goes into great detail. It's over a 200-page book, and it goes into great detail about the whole study and about how we were made to fear our hormones whenever it was an unnecessary fear. It was overinflated. It was over exaggerated. And what I love about his book, actually not just his book, but many other books that are now out, is that every single study that he read and used to write that book is in the back of the book, so that you can look it up, read it, print it, give it to your doctor.
Excellent. Okay, this is good. I'm just trying to put it in the comments. Yeah. Studies are included in this book. So, all right, let's talk about
the studies are all referenced in the back, so you can look them up. I looked up a bunch of them.
Okay, cool.
So it's not a book. It's not their opinion is my point, is when these people like Dr. Tarvis, like Avram Blooming and Carol Tarvis and Kelley Casperson and Mary Claire Haver and Vonda Wright, when they're writing these books, it's not their opinion. It is based on scientific fact, because all of those books have all of the references listed in the back. And I'm sure there's others that I'm forgetting, but those are just the ones that are at the front of my head.
Yeah, I'm thinking here, like it seems like we've been so taught to especially as young girls and women, and to give our power away and trust other people outside of ourselves, and there's but we're not doing that anymore. And I do still feel that there's still this change has taken time. It will continue to take time, and women have got to start trusting themselves and understand that it is our job to learn. And I think a lot of people think, well, I think even women, I hear people say, well, is it really that big of a deal? Like, it's that big because it's so shocking when you truly understand what has happened with this WHI and how overnight, what did you say? 80% of women stopped taking their hormones.
Yeah.
And then decades, this was so it's been what, 20 years the
press release was in 2002. So it's been 22 years.
Yeah, it's been 22 years. And so and a lot of people, it's like, why should I believe you? You shouldn't believe me or Kelley, or read the books and read the research and figure it out. But we've been duped.
Read my handout that's in your group.
Oh,
and in there, I put all kinds of other, like I even say in there, look, I don't expect you to believe just me. Here are some other resources for education and information. Like I don't expect you to just believe me. you
Yes,
know,
yes, yes.
I mean,
Your handout is excellent, and it is well well cited. So grab Kelley's thing, but you know, so I wasn't even going to go here, but you know how we go, Kelley. We just go where we want to
we
go.
just
But
go where we want.
do you know why there has been such a lack of training in medical schools over the past
Because
forever?
it stopped when this came out, when this press release, it stopped. We have over 20 years of medical providers that have never been taught anything about, like,
They read the study.
I am one of them. I am one of those providers. I graduated from nursing school in 2002. I graduated with my, I have my master's degree. I was taught nothing about this. I was taught menopause is when a woman is 1 year after a woman stops her periods, and she might have some hot flashes. I was not taught that menopause increases the risk of heart disease, dementia, colon cancer, diabetes, high cholesterol. I wasn't taught any of that.
But okay, all right, yeah. I guess
So
I could get.
we need an entire institution to change. That is going to take a long time, but thank God that there are some of us out there that are really curious. And I will say there's starting to be more of us. So like the membership to the Menopause Society has like doubled in a short amount of time. So more and more providers are getting curious and starting to learn about this. And my personal physician, where she works at, they train residents. Okay. So like doctors in training, they help train them. And she gives a lecture now. She gives a couple lectures. She talks to the residents that are coming in about this to teach them about it. But that's 8 doctors.
Yep.
And they're it's 8 doctors that she is doing this for, and 8 to 10. And so you got to get it all the way back into the education of not only the doctors, the nurse, but the nurses even.
Yeah. But isn't it crazy how we all capitulated? The whole society, from a non-statistically significant study, capitulated, and the media brought it up.
So there's your power of the media.
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
we're not gonna stay in the rear view, but I can't help but get so fired up, Kelley.
I do too.
About this.
I get really fired up about it, and here's what gets me even more fired up. So I had a friend. So I had a patient who's 42 years old. She has her tubes tied. Okay. She came to me. I started her on hormone because she was having symptoms, and we ruled out other causes for her symptoms. And I started her on hormone replacement therapy, and she had her yearly follow-up appointment with her primary care doctor. So I tell my patients, tell your doctor that you're doing this. Like, don't hide it from them. Like, they need to know that you're doing this. I'm almost to the point where but so I told her, make sure you tell them. And she did the right thing. And she told her primary care doctor that she was doing hormone therapy with me and how it has helped. And he's like, why are you doing that? You should be on birth control. And she goes, why would I take birth control when I have my tubes tied? He didn't have an answer for her. He didn't know what to say. And then he goes, well, if you want to give yourself cancer, you go right on ahead. And she goes, if I didn't know better and I didn't have the information that you've given me, and I haven't, and I didn't have, like, I didn't have you as a resource and have your handout and have the other books that you've recommended. She goes, he would have scared me off of my hormones.
Yes. And that happens a lot, doesn't it?
It happens a lot. So next day, I get a text from a friend of mine who is not a patient. She's just a friend of mine. And she goes, I was doing hormone therapy with my PCP, and I had to change PCPs due to my insurance. So she went to a new PCP, and this new PCP says, "Oh, no, you're too far." So like she's 53, 54, somewhere in there, and she went through menopause at like 47. And her new PCP told her that, "Oh, well, now you're like almost 10 years past menopause, so you don't need those anymore, but here's an antidepressant."
Oh gosh.
And and it'll do the same thing.
It'll do the same thing.
And she's like, she goes, so she texted me, she's like, "Is that right?" And I'm like, no, it's not right.
Yeah.
No
wonder we're so confused.
Get your doctor to give you back your hormones, or come see me. I will, I'll give them to you. Like, no, antidepressant is not going to do the same thing. It is not going to help reduce your risk of osteoporosis, heart disease, dementia, diabetes, high cholesterol. It's not going to do any of those things. And
not that it can't be helpful if it's needed for other heart rate. But that's not. But you're just saying it's not going to do that. It's apples and oranges.
On an antidepressant with her hormones. So let's take her off her hormones and put her in it. I can't make it make sense.
Logic defies logic. It defies logic. Oh my gosh. So talking about this, women have choices. So first we need to help educate women to know you actually do have choices. And so what would you recommend for women navigating the perimenopause, the menopausal journey with their healthcare providers? So they can obviously come to you if they're local in Pittsburgh and they choose to go. You're open for consults.
Actually, anywhere across Pennsylvania, you can come to me.
Anywhere across Pennsylvania.
Telehealth, yeah. So anywhere.
Okay. Oh, okay, good. Okay. And so, but for those that are not
West Virginia or Ohio, come on, drive in.
West Virginia. Okay, you got that. The tri-state area. Come see Kelley. So if they don't have Kelley in their pocket, so what do you recommend as a way for women to start advocating for themselves? How can they find practitioners that are more likely to be aligned with this type of thinking and have the current data to know what's really going on?
I'm going to say straight out the gate is not easy. But there are some resources. So Dr. Mary Claire Haver, on her website, she has now, none of these providers have been vetted. These are just, and I'm on this list, thanks to a patient, but there are providers that are recommended by patients. So the patient submits the provider to the website. They check out the provider and then they put it on there as a resource for patients. Always make sure that you check out, whether that person's still there or whatever.
Do your own research.
Yeah, right? Because my current information is not on that website. I am, but my current location and information is not on there. And I can't change it. The other resources are menopause.org, which is the website for the Menopause Society. There too, they have a list of providers. I am on that list. But you got to still check them out. Like, so I've seen and heard people say they were recommended by the Menopause Society, but then whenever they got there, they were pushing pellets, or they were offering birth control and not hormone therapy. So you have to do your homework.
Be discerning.
Yes, you need to be discerning. Call the place. If somebody comes up on one, and another good list is ISHWISH, which is the international. I forget. And it's ISHWISH. Let me look it up real quick. It's ISHWISH. And it is for the study of sexual health and women's health. And I can never remember how to spell it. Okay, so it is ISSWSH, and it's pronounced ISHWISH.
Is that .com?
Yeah, .org.
.org.
ISHWISH.org.
ISSWHS.
Yes. That's why I always have to look and like, is it ISS?
That's yeah. I don't know. I just put the link in. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So it is, they do have a list of providers, but say you find somebody on that list and they're close to you, the first thing to do is call the office, ask questions. What type of hormone? And if they don't know, if the person at the front desk doesn't know the answer, they should put you in contact with the provider. I mean, that's what we do at our office. If my front desk, if my, which she's very educated, and she knows a lot, but there's sometimes questions that a patient sometimes questions that a patient has that she doesn't know the answer to.
Sure.
But that's why I do a 15-minute free consultation to answer your questions.
Okay.
But you should ask, what type of hormone therapy do you do? Because if it's pellets, if it's only compounded, if they're saying that you need to have blood work done every 3 months, run. Those are not reliable.
Can you share? I know we touched on this in one of them, but so be it. We're going to touch on it over and over again. The pellets, talk about the pellets, because I know I just heard somebody say that she was on pellets, and I was like, oh, we might want to get you some information on that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So first of all, pellets are not regulated.
What are they too? Or what people are like, what are you talking about? What's a pellet?
So one, they're like, they're like the size of a grain of rice. They have to be inserted into your butt.
And they're it's hormones inside a pellet.
Yeah, okay. They're hormones that are inside of this pellet, and these companies like Biote and I forget that's just the one that comes to my mind. Anyways, they claim that these are time released and that, this is the best way to get your hormone therapy. The problem is that these companies are not regulated by anybody. They're self-regulated. And I honestly don't know how they get away with it, but they do. And that's beside the point. But these hormones that are in these pellets can release very high doses of the hormones when they're first inserted. And then it slowly goes down. And if you have any side effects from them, like a few of my patients have had, who had pellets and then came to me, because their testosterone levels were that of a man's, and their hearts were racing and they couldn't sleep and they were anxious. Wow. And all these issues. The problem is once the pellet's in, you can't get it out.
Wow.
Because one, it's the size of a grain of rice. Two, if you would see the thing that they use, it's called a trocar, but basically it's this really big needle.
Ooh. Well,
bigger round, bigger than like the size of, it's about as big as it's big. Like I can't even, it's big.
You had me at big. I'm not doing that.
And if you would see it, you would be like terrified of it. And they use that to inject this pellet deep into your butt.
Yeah. Yikes. No,
and
thanks.
Once it's in, you can't get it out. So one, they're not regulated. Two, it's invasive. It's an invasive procedure. They numb you. They don't put you to sleep or anything, but they do numb the area so that you don't feel this big, huge needle going into your butt. 3, once they're in, you can't get them out. 4, you don't know the dose that you're getting. Like you don't know, is it really 50 milligrams or whatever, or is it really 250? Like you don't know.
Okay. And again, where would you send someone that's like, ooh, I want to learn more about pellets because my doctor recommended them or I'm on them? And the books?
Read any of the books. The thing is you're not going to get, whenever you go to like Google and stuff, the first things that are going to come up are the pellet companies that are promoting it. You need to look past there to get the information. I don't recommend. So one, I belong to 4 menopause societies. I belong to the North American Menopause Society, now just called the Menopause Society. I belong to the International Menopause Society. I follow the British Menopause Society and the Australian Menopause Society. I follow all of their guidelines. None of them recommend pellets.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's not safe, effective. It's potentially dangerous and potentially unsafe.
So that's important. That's important.
And these people that were doing pellets are making a lot of money off of them.
Yeah, and you did touch on in our last one about the unscrupulous organizations and people that are out there just trying to make a buck off of it. So, like anything, we have got to keep our eyes wide open and find your trusted sources and follow the lead.
One of the biggest things is you can't, if you find somebody on ISHWISH or menopause.org or Mary Claire's site, call first, ask your questions. If they're not really willing to answer your questions on the phone, probably not the best place to go. Do some research before you start looking for someone. Read the books, read Menopause Moment, The New Menopause, Estrogen Matters. Listen to it. You don't have to read. I don't read. I do audiobooks and I buy the book, but listen to it, get yourself some education about what is happening to you and how to treat it. If you're going to your primary care doctor to ask for hormones, don't say, I read on Google, I heard on Instagram, I heard on Facebook. Like, don't do that. Actually print out some actual research for your doctors, backing up your reasons why you want to try hormone therapy. If you go in there saying that you heard, then they're going to be like, you're just not going to be taken seriously. Whereas if you go in with actual research articles, and a great resource for things is menopause.org and ISHWISH and Mary Claire. They're very good resources in how to, where you can get the information to print out to your doctor.
Okay. I love that. And I think we'll
be disappointed if you're like, the thing is that there's such a stigma and there's still such this lack of education for doctors, and you can't go in for your yearly visit and expect to talk about this. This is a separate visit. You also can't have a visit for a cold and expect to talk about you. Like, you need to make a separate visit to be able to talk about this. Modern, our healthcare system is broken. This is not a 15-minute conversation. And that's really, what doctors get with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like you and I were talking earlier in the chat before the chat, we're talking about, well, I think it makes a lot of sense that if, go to your primary care physician or, the doctor that you're used to seeing and ask, just ask flat out, hey, what's your education level? Are you up to speed on hormone therapy?
Most of them are not. And I'm lucky in that I have some primary care doctors, other colleagues who refer their patients to me because they don't have the time.
It's not their lane and they know it.
Not their lane. And unfortunately, it's not the OBGYN's lane either.
It's not. No, not necessarily. And that's true. That's a good point to bring up. And like I told last time when I went to a different OBGYN last year for something totally not hormone related, because I know that, it's typically not their
They're
lane.
not taught either.
And yeah, exactly. And she, she was curious because she saw that I was taking, all of it and the whole HRT. And she's like, can you explain to me why you're taking testosterone? Could you explain? And she let me tell her. And she said, gosh, it's changed. We never got any training and I have to learn. So, but the advice the what I really want to make the impact here is that this is our responsibility. I say that over and over, probably ad nauseum, but it isn't your doctor's responsibility. It's your responsibility to find a healthcare provider that can serve you in this. You have to decide that, what, it's a whole new day and age with this whole perimenopause, menopause thing. It is just like literally coming back online. Like it's like it was buried for decades and it's coming back. Thank God it is. And
really, I want just heavily in the past 2 or 3 years is really, when I first started researching it was difficult. It was hard.
Yeah. And so what we want is
becoming more and more accessible, which is what we need.
Well, and thank you for being a voice in this yourself, Kelley. This is one of the reasons these conversations are incredibly important. This stuff really, really matters. It's the foundation of our health from perimenopause on. And so make it your mission that your health is that important for you to do your research, to find a collaborative physician. And don't blame the doctors are people. And I mean, we're not going to go to, an OBGYN to get my, knee surgery, right? We're going to go to the specialist of where people are, focused and trained and passionate. And so it's, the information is there. We're collaborating. It's a big sisterhood that's coming together. And this is truly about putting, your health at the top of your list and deciding that you're the one that's going to find the partners to put in your front row. So, yeah. So any last words? And then let's talk about, I want you to talk about your upcoming events with a little more detail.
Just, I hope more and more women become curious about themselves and about what is happening to them. I hope men become curious about what is happening to their wives. And I just hope that I just want to help as many people as I can, humanly can.
Oh, you're absolutely doing it. So yeah, share where people can come see you here locally the next.
Okay. So I am at Cornerstone Wellness at 1000 Cliff Mine Road, Suite 101 in Pittsburgh, Robinson area. You can go to our website, www.cornerstonewell.com. You can check out, I'll tell you about that in a minute. We have an entire hormone wellness team. So it's not just me. We also have a registered dietitian. We have a physical therapist. We have women who specialize in sleep, intimacy, relationships, because we're about whole body care. We are not just about one thing. We are holistic and taking care of your mind, body, and soul. So we have a whole team of women. I don't take insurance. I spend an hour and a half with you for your first visit. Every follow-up visit is 60 minutes. I'm sorry, but the current healthcare system does not recognize perimenopause or menopause as a disease. So therefore it is not a diagnosis. And so I wouldn't get reimbursed. I wouldn't get paid. So my services are cash-based, but everyone else in the practice does take insurance. And it really just depends upon your insurance, if you're covered or what. But we also have a bunch of other options, like payment plans and different things. Also on our website, you can check out our book club that we are going to be having. That is going to start off on November 7th. So if you're interested in being a part of the book club, go to our website, or you can call 724-371-0177, or you can email office@cornerstonewell.com and they'll get you set up to join book club. Our first book is going to be Estrogen Matters, because I think that book is super, super important, and it really you're going to get angry. You're going to get upset, and it's the book that made me realize that I was not lied to. But
no, I mean, get the fire in your belly. And
it's the book that made me finally decide that, I'm going to do hormones. I'm going to do my best to help other women with this. And it really made me angry that I was misled for so many years, and that I wasn't taught anything about this. And it really lit me up. So that's going to be our first book. So if you're interested in joining book club, we're going to read book chapters 1 through 5. And those are the ones we plan on discussing November 7th. And then we'll read chapters 5 through 10. And then we'll pick another day, like probably in December. And then we'll take a break through Christmas and through the New Year's. And we'll probably start back up with another book. And
that's in person, right? At Cornerstone.
That's it. We're planning on doing it in person. Yes, we'd love to see you in person, but I figure we could put on Zoom or something like that too.
Okay, cool.
So that those who can't join, can.
All right, excellent. And then you're speaking Sunday, and there's 5 tickets left for your Panera.
So I'm speaking on Sunday at the Panera at Trinity Point in Washington. It starts at 2:00. I don't know how to. I'm not good at this, like to share the Eventbrite link. I think we have 4 or 5 tickets left for seating room. If you want to come and stand, you are more than welcome to, but most people are going to want to sit because they're going to want to take notes. You will get a copy of my handout. I also have 2 other amazing women who are going to speak, who are both, who were both struggling with perimenopause and menopause symptoms, who are both on hormone replacement, and they're going to tell you their journey. Let's see here. What else?
You're also doing
October 3rd and 4th. I will be in New York meeting and seeing all of the original members of the menopause, and be seeing Mary Claire Haver and Kelley Casperson and Naomi Watts, and I'll be seeing all of them. Vonda Wright is going to be there. Oh my God, don't forget Vonda. Vonda Wright is going to be there also, so I'll be seeing her again, and I can't wait to come back and tell you all about that. That's going to be.
Can't wait.
I'm so excited, like so excited.
Yes.
And then October, I think it's October 28th, is the At Capacity Symposium. I will be a panelist and speaker there, along with some other women who are experts, not only in menopause, but it's really just all about midlife and how midlife is not a breakdown. It is a breakthrough. I can attest to that.
Woo! So, yeah.
And then I know in November I have something else coming up.
Amazing. So fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, Kelley's on top of it. She's staying on top of it as the data comes out. She's on it and she's in it and she's with it. So yeah. So let us just remind you that you are here to live a joyful, healthy, happy, passionate life in every aspect of life. And it is up to you to make choices that are going to serve you and that are going to help you do just that. So, and no matter where you are on this journey, there's movement forward. There's support for you. There's help for you. There's guidance. There's people that have made this their life's mission and all different areas of it. So, so Kelley, yeah, thank you so much. This is awesome. We're going to keep doing this.
I love doing this.
Yeah, this is it's so much fun. So I really love it.
Oh, and one other thing. Sorry, you can check out all my podcasts on Spill With Me, Jenny D. You would have to go back to March to see the first one. And there's 4 total episodes with me and on the podcast all about menopause. And then the podcaster Jenny decided to become a patient and to kind of document her journey. And I will say she feels 90% better than whenever she started hormones. Before. She feels amazing, and she's very happy. And so she and I will continue to do podcasts, and so check that out too. Spill With Me, Jenny D. It's on all podcast platforms. It's on YouTube. You can. I like to watch the video.
Yeah. Well, and tell you what, Kelley, maybe you could go into the comments and add all of your, we're getting requests to post your schedule and the ticket info. So I think we can add it into the comments after this.
I was going to say, I tried to add stuff into the comments, but it wouldn't let me.
Okay. Well, then I'll try to do it. I can go back.
I can go into your group, into Totally Awesome You, right? And
yeah. We'll post this in the Totally Awesome You.
I think it's already up. I think it's already up in Totally Awesome You. The link for the Eventbrite link.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll do a single post and get it all in there. So thank you. This was great. Love you guys. And we're going to wrap it up because I have an 11 o'clock. So I gotta go. So
you gotta go.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Love you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.